Yeah, my name is Ron Phillips. I'm a member of the Racing Commission here in St. Croix, and today we're here to Government House. We have a meeting with the governor, and that will give us an idea of what direction we're going to go where horse racing is concerned. Unfortunately, as we all know, that BIGL and the government of Bernal has separated live racing agreement. So I guess we'll have an idea, the Racing Commission will have an idea of how we're going to be moving forward where horse racing is concerned. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
Right. Good afternoon. My name is Henry Chang. I'm the Vice President of the St. Croix Horse Racing Commission. Right now, as far as the state of horse race goes, we're pretty much, we really don't know where the state is right now. We're about to meet with the governor. He's going to give us an update on what his plans are for the horse racing industry here in St. Croix. I'm looking forward to hear what the governor has to say, and hopefully horse racing in St. Croix will get moving. Thank you.
On YouTube is labeled From Kings to Pawns, additional footage sponsored by BIACAE. Commercial break. So let me ask you, explain a little bit about that portion of the video so that the people could better understand before we continue. Give them a little input from your perspective in regards to what it is he is speaking about.
Yeah, at the time I was putting together the production, the Casino Control Commission has sung like they were a major piece. You know, like you see the title From Kings to Pawns, so there's like a major piece and a chessboard of things. So I made my way down there, and luckily I was able to interview Mr. Pickering, and he was basically just going into further detail how things work in that world, in the business world of horse racing, because I couldn't understand, you know, like growing up, you know, we had and then we had casinos or nothing. So now that I just happened to, you know, start this documentary, it was just to me astounding to see how we can run a race without the casinos.
Because it's better than all those different stuff.
Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, me really know what's going on, so I have to make sure I go down there and talk to him.
Do research.
And he was able to express how things work. And then, of course, my timeline will kind of be a little different from the official timeline. I'll try to keep up. That was done last year. So currently, VIGL has given up the track. Wow. Yes.
So, as far as you're concerned, from speaking to Mr. Pickering, it was to better inform you, due to the fact that it intrigued you, as far as seeing that the casino had a play in everything that is going on with the horse track administration.
Correct, and of course the commission itself, they're the one that I think have a hand in issuing the permits and stuff like that. As he said, you know, they got their permits, you know, I did that so the average spectator like myself could actually see, you know, the business side of things.
Like inside scope of what it is going on. What do you think he is basically trying to say in regards, because from what I saw, he was stating that there are certain licensing protocols that they went through, but they didn't make it available to the public. Is that what he's basically talking about?
Yeah, in a nutshell. And then from a production standpoint, and being an editor too, I figure he's kind of saying the same subject as the previous speaker. So that's why I decided to put his interview.
Elaborated on it.
Yeah, they kind of saying the same thing, and then the next clip, I think the next clip don't start to be in a senator. So that's horseman Mikey Dredd. Even though he's a horseman, he's very well informed in the business of things, and he's all throughout my additional footage and the documentary itself.
Wow. So when it comes to Mr. Mikey Dredd, do you know how long he has been within the horse racing industry?
A very long time. I actually met him there because actually this first started with a documentary called Life at Truck School.
Wow.
That's one of my productions, you know, where I would, I used to go, when the track was up and running, from like that's about 2013, 2012, up until 2018, like, around that time frame, the general manager at the time was Mr. Brown. I used to go down there and do a monthly horse racing show called Track School TV, and then I decided to do a documentary called Life at Track School, and then that's when I met Mr. Durant with his horse Creation Rebel. Had a very, very unique style. Kind of start off in the middle of the pack, and then once they bank the corner, he just pass everybody and pass everybody in the end. Kind of like Ali Shiba back in the days, you know, my favorite horse, you know.
Your pace and then build up momentum after everybody don't tire basically.
Correct, and then just in the end, he just clip everybody.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, my name is Ray Ives. I've been in the horse racing business from a little boy from Bushways. So working in the States, along the racetracks, working with vets. And I'm here to contribute to the good thing that Mr. Ramon is doing.
Yes.
I'm here to tell the people that he's on the right track.
I hope you prepared today, because when I done with Mr. Ramon, I'm coming for you in regards to the questions that I have, because I have questions for Mr. Ramon, but when he tell me he's like bringing a horseman, you know, I said, yeah, well, guess what? I got a list of questions for you as well. And it's nice meeting you. Before I continue with the video, I'd like to ask you, how long have you been in the industry, and what got you into it in the first place?
Well, what got me into it in the first place is that I think I was about 7-8 years old. I was in the Catholic school in Frederickson, St. Patrick's. And this guy by the name of Victor Brady, he used to play street down on Sesame Street. He passed there with a horse one time. It was on lunch break. And I jumped on the back of his horse with him. I went to Caledonia where people go and
what? You said 7 or 8?
Yeah, and from then I got hooked, you know.
Oh, wow.
And then to leave from home to go to the Catholic school, I had to pass 2 or 3 stable yards. And when I was in school, I seen another one. In class, I seen another one. And then when I was in church, I seen another one.
Yeah,
it got me kind of, it got into the bone.
So you went into,
and then,
I have to get this.
And then I started hanging out with the guys that was trainers, older guys than me, and just paying attention to what they're doing. And there was a guy, an older guy, that been around us. When I was about maybe 10, 11 years old, by the name of, his last name was Samuel. He became a trainer in Philadelphia Park. I can't remember his first name, but he became a horse trainer in Philadelphia Park. And his family was from St. Croix. He used to hang out with some people from Bethlehem, a man named Papai, Philip Henry, and all the guys, you know. And then, and in the summers I would go to Grove Place and hang out on my father's property, and them guys had houses up there, and I would hang around them, and that's where I got really, really hooked into it. You know.
Tell me the year that this was.
This was like 1958.
Wow. So what I'm going to do is, I want you to keep note of the year that it was. I'm going to ask you later. I'm not going to ask you right now. What I'm going to ask, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to ask you. But I want you to tell me about the dynamics of the horse industry, or from your perspective, what it was back then to now. So I'm going to give you the time as we continue to be prepared for that 1958, you say, you know, to 2025. So for the audience, once again, I'd like you to let them know who you are and what you do, so that they could be able, because we get more and more people coming in now. They see a house, they say, wait, hold up, this ball house. Stop playing with it.
Okay, so my name is Ray Ives, and I started this thing at a young age. A really young age, and going to the racetrack was never a problem of mine. My parents were either gone with my mother and father, I mean, with my mother and stepfather, or either gone with my father or some family friend. I was living like right across from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
You go hungry all the time.
And right now, Kentucky wasn't there then. It was like small business. And then, and the weekends, them guys would be running races in Sandy Point. We would drive in to go to Sandy Point, and I wasn't allowed to go there, but I would walk alongside the beach road highway and the beach where the park is until I get away and go there. If somebody would see me, to tell my parents, or somebody stop me and send me back home, you know. But and then we used to race in Cladamarco stretch from the corner where the gas station is. I think it's a Target gas station there. From there to Cladamarco school, we used to race in there. And then we used to race in where Alexander Henderson School is, so up to the road where Public Works is in that development right there. We used to race all over the place, and then we run in Plantation Road and all them kind of places. You know.
That's dope. That is dope. So, as far as what I heard, you have been really intrigued when it comes to horses, and to see that it took that little portion of just that individual bringing on the back of his horse to build that interest in your heart.
That's right.
That's a big thing. And I asked a question, how did it feel to see that it was not only a senator that was intrigued by horse racing, but a female at that? Tell me about that and how that struck you.
Yeah, I'm glad I was good. Show everybody respect, you know, because you never know who you might run into. So I saw this individual coming through the highway, and I identified myself, and I, you know, asked her who she was, and then when she told me she was a senator, this was doing a hearing about what's going on in horse racing. So I, you know, followed up on an interview and tell her and let her know that I was going to be working on a documentary, and you know, she gave me that great interview.
That is what is up. So to see that, because I've been one, me never jump on no horse. I gonna be real with you. I'm afraid of it. But when it comes to watching the races and everything, and even seeing them deal with them and the young men ride them and stuff like that, it's been intriguing to me. My sons have been on horses before me. They've rode horses just like at the ages that you stated you got into it. And when I told them that I fear it, I ain't putting myself on top no horse. No. You understand me? On top of that, you know, I suffer from seizures and stuff like that, so it's a big risk on my take. I would watch from afar. But to see that and I do see a lot of young ladies who are now virgin animals who are intrigued and ride horses, maintain the horses, all these different things. So to see not only a senator, but also a female give you that time of day and give her perspective on it, that is amazing. I must say.
I would say everybody call it horse race while it's sport a king. But at the end of the day, you know, the little man name is who actually make horse race thing. Black jockeys, the first Kentucky Derby was like a black jockey. You check, so like if you like go back to history, you'll see okay, man to man betting is illegal. But ain't nobody go on go to pari-neutral. You check, it's like, okay, bet a little $5, man. Bet a little $5, a little $10. You check, so now it's like, okay, now we have machines and like everybody, that's how the truck basically make the money to make the portion. So yes, I understand all of that. So you need the rest, you know, to run still. But man, I don't know, man. It'll be like too much ongoing. 1 minute they say something, you look back, it changes up to the next thing.
Vincent Roberts, Commissioner of the Department of Sports, Park and Recreation. Now, I'm very satisfied that the senators went ahead and voted in affirmative for bill number 36-0119. It's a step in the right direction. We need to get horse racing back on the island of St. Croix to really get more horses and more horses involved. Well, we're here today because we have a bill to appropriate $5 million to the Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation in relation to the Doc James racetrack here on the island of St. Croix. We know that the VIGL was the former contractor for the project that
technically did not do much on the project and has been stalling for over about 8.5 years or more. So we really want to see what we can do here from the legislative standpoint to be able to appropriate these funds to get the project moving forward.
And basically, so it's a good chance that you won't start construction on the track after today?
There has been a formal assessment. It has not been paid for as yet. That's why these funds are so important in relation to the project. We need that assessment to fully ascertain the amount of work that would be rendered or necessary to get the Randall Doc James track up and running again. So that is part of why these funds are so important, because we can't just start a project without understanding the scope of the project and all of the intangibles in relation to building out this racetrack. So there is no timeline currently. This is the first step in a few steps to get to the point where we need to get to the design phase and then move forward.
Okay. You mentioned $5 million. You didn't mention the total cost. So it sounds to me, if the purpose is to fix the bonds and the running surface, the $5 million is supposed to be a stopgap measure until we can get what we actually need. I don't know what the plans are for doing whatever else is needed to have the race track completed so we can have full races. But I like the stopgap measure to a certain extent because people feed in horses today. It's cost a lot of money. So when we exercise them, what are we going to do? We can't race here? No. Then how soon? No. There's a racetrack in the borderland, so it means that St. Croix will be a training ground, and then we race in St. Thomas. I don't know. If that is a plan, as a temporary measure, while there's a continuation in developing our track, so we can have our own track, I will say yes to that. But I won't just say, give me the $5 million and we're happy, not knowing where the balance is coming from, so we can have our own racetrack. I think it should be part of a plan. I don't know if it's being put forth as a separate plan, but that should not be a plan by itself. Be part of a plan that will get us to the point where we reinstitute horse racing in St. Croix.
Okay, good morning. The hearing that was on with Marcus and VLA and BB, that hearing was a little bit off because it looked like a little personal attack on VLA, and VLA did take a stance on that. Now, when you look at $5 million and compare to $22 million, Senator James asked him, after you get the $5 million, how much longer before you come back for more? Now, my personal feeling is that $5 million will go a long way, because when you're building a grandstand, you're paving the parking lot, and you're doing over the surface. That's a lot of money for that little bit of work. But I guess it all depends on who the contractor is and how big of a stadium you want to build, and how much of whatever you're doing will determine how much money you're going to spend.
I think that some of the money for the stables too.
But the stables really, they're in good shape. They did some repairs. Divi did some repairs to that, Divi, but VIGL did some repairs to them, and mainly groundwork that needs to be done. But $5 million for me, we did a little conversation on that, a couple of the house owners the other day, and when you look at the numbers, I don't see it. But again, I don't have estimates in front of me. I didn't do a study onto how much land work that you have to do to put down the foundation and all of that. So just going on the top of my head and based on steel structure and foundation, it can't be no $5 million. But that's what they talk about, 20 and all kind of thing. So they make their numbers however they come about it. But the local house owners that we had our conversation, we don't see it. Now, as far as how the money going to come, But yeah, you have to get somebody who will establish a casino on the premises, and the casino will generate the revenues for the horse racing. And that was what was done with Divi, and when Philadelphia Park was here with Joey Michaels, they were getting their online betting, telephone wagering and stuff like that, and that is what supported the horse race. So now, yeah, naturally, if you're going to rebuild the stadium and the facility, you're going to need a revenue generator, which would be your casino, not the government.
My name is Magella Savida Milligan. I am a sports reporter. I have my own sports show on the radio, 97X, and I'm also a house owner. The $5 million that was given to Sports Park and Recreation to do some kind of restoring of the racetrack here on St. Croix, it's enough for a start, but I don't know if they're going to do the barns. They have to do the surface, definitely have to do the surface of the racetrack for at the least native bred horses and other horses could start exercising, that they could have races maybe by December 2026. It could happen if they do the right thing.
And who would be the promoter at that time?
Well, the promoter at that time, I do not know at this time. Of course, I am a member of the Hasman Association, but I haven't got any information about who is going to be the promoter yet for the next time horse racing start on St. Croix.
Yeah. Well, everything was nice. The recording, everything about the horse interviews, everything is cool. I like it.